Separating all the minds from the men, breaking it down from beginning to the end. Got their finger on the pulse of every trend. They see inside leak when they looking through the lens. Come on.
Good morning, good day, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching
Yes,
this.
sir.
This is Thru the Lens with Kareem Keynes, Bronx MCs. We got my man Steven, and you got my boy Talik. And we're talking about, we got a lot of serious issues to talk about, but we're going to start first off and talk about Mr. Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. And who wants to take it first?
Day. I'll take a snap at it. At first, I just want to get started by saying that it's ridiculous that, or even at this point in our lives where we're having a conversation that if basketball or sports should be brought back because of racial injustice. It's crazy to me that we're really sitting here having this conversation. I don't know if it's only crazy to me, but it's just crazy to me. I just want to get started by saying that. But one, I don't agree with Kyrie Irving's points. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't agree with his points because one, Kyrie, basketball is mainly dominated by African Americans. That's one. Two, Kyrie Irving, you're not playing. You're not playing Kyrie Irving. So I don't understand why you even want to have a say so on. It would be different if you're looking forward to coming back to making a championship run, but you're not playing. That's my second point. So I don't understand why he say like, all right, you could say like, oh, I don't think that we should bring back, but he seems like he just completely shut down the idea and he doesn't even want to hear it. And another thing, if LeBron James says that we should bring back basketball, one of the biggest superstars in the world, somebody who has always spoken out on racial and injustice, we should bring him back. That's just how I see it.
I totally agree with you. Like, first of all, he's not playing. He's done for the season. So, am I breaking up? Y'all hear me?
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not playing for the season. And so to me, if you're not playing for the season, you're not really making a sacrifice. This is not a sacrifice to you. Oh, I don't think we should play. Okay, you're not playing anyway. You're not going to be in the bubble. Number two, you already won a championship. You already have a championship. Some of these guys, homeboy in Milwaukee has not got a chip yet. There's a lot of AD hasn't got a chip yet. And these dudes are still fighting for their first chip. Number three, some of these dudes. Number three, you already got your last big contract. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna probably get another contract after this, but it's not gonna be as big as this one. You got your last big contract. AD's trying to get another big contract. Trying to get a big contract. There's a couple of other NBA players that are trying to get a big contract. And the reality is, this is a sport where, look at Kyrie's. Kyrie has knee injuries. He has shoulder injuries. People, there's no guarantee that you come back and play. The same way, and you have a short window. You can't just sit out and say, hey, 2 years from now, all right, we're going to play where everything is, kumbaya. Things are never going to be kumbaya. We're making some progress. We're getting some things done, but there's always going to be some issue. But here's my last point. Before we give this to Steven, is that look, when Donald Sterling was the owner of the Clippers, if they wanted to sit out, I could understand that because at the time, but the NBA moved fast. You know what I'm saying? And because the NBA is the most progressive league in the world right now. Adam Silver gets it. You know what I'm saying? They get it. They move quick. They make things happen. It doesn't happen like that in basketball. And you see how the problems they had in the NFL. So, I understand he's upset, stuff like that, but you got to channel that in a positive way. Steven.
I want to start off by saying, if you feel like in the job force that you're working, if you feel like there's like systemic racism or unjust equality, as a Black person, you should be uncomfortable and you shouldn't have to be in that position. And that's part of the reason why Kyrie. That's one of the reasons why Kyrie doesn't want his counterparts to be playing in this pullback in the bubble, because he said the owners are not even coming to us in the bubble. So why we're playing for majority white owners that are not risking their lives? So why are we going to be the one that risk our lives? Okay, and two, I understand what you guys are saying about how Kyrie's not playing and this is not really affecting him. He could do what he intends to do, since he's not going to be playing on his own. But they voted him the vice president of the National Basketball Players Association. So it's his job to speak up and have a voice and for the players as well. So I think that's a big part of the reason why you can't just say he's not playing. So for him to not like really say anything. On the other hand, I agree with you guys. I'm leaning towards more of they should be playing, because there's more pros to play than cons, because you could do the NBA is probably the biggest or the biggest, and will give you a bigger platform to spread the message that we're trying to spread. Before every game, and I'm pretty sure the NBA will give you free leeway to do what you want to give the players free leeway to do what they want to do. Before games, there could be a talk every single time. I'm pretty sure the NBA won't be against the players giving the players power to speak on this topic and do things upon this topic. They've done it. We've seen them do it countless times. So I'm pretty sure they won't discourage or allow the players to not be able to spread this message.
I have a question for you, Steve.
Let me say this. Let me say this point after I answer your question. And also another reason why I think they should play the games is because if you don't play if majority of the superstars are not gonna play, then that's gonna take away the development of the TV contracts and the money. So that that's pointless. You're gonna take away years of progress just because you think that this will take away from what you're really trying to spend. So what you saying, Talik?
Few of the players had a statement that we shouldn't start playing until it's resolved. But my question is, sorry, excuse me, guys. When will we know when it's resolved? That this could be going on for what? When will we know that this is resolved? This is an issue that we can't just say, okay, this is resolved. This is not some issue where you go put a tool and you screw it on and then you're like, all right, you're good. I fixed it and it's a new thing. It's good. When will we know when it's resolved?
Kyrie. Did Kyrie say that, or it was like some players were saying that?
One of the players said it when it's resolved. I'm not gonna lie and say Kyrie said that, but one of the players definitely said that.
That to me, that's a really bad statement, because if you're gonna go off that statement, then you might have then what are they telling? What is he trying to tell me? You're not gonna play until 3 years?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to understand. It makes no sense. We're not. I don't understand Kyrie's point, though. We're not trying to give the white man more money, of course, but with this basketball platform, we could still use it. And the resolving point, one of the places that makes no sense to me, because like I said, when will we know when this is resolved? This is just recently, after George Floyd died, right in Atlanta, another black man got shot by a cop. What is going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's always going to be issues. Like even all the police reform they're doing, everything they're getting, there's always going to be issues.
Another black man shot again.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. Kyrie's got to remember. Kyrie plays for the Brooklyn Nets right now in New York City. For
Exactly.
those who Barclays Center area is one of the main points where people are gathering to protest. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They're not protesting the Brooklyn Nets or Barclays Center. It's just a gathering spot because
You ever
they
seen
get it.
Kyrie over there?
I haven't seen him there, but here's the other thing too. The Nets are owned by a minority owner. He's an Asian billionaire. You know what I'm saying? They're owned by a minority owner. They get it. You know what I'm saying? Even Michael Jordan made a statement on this. They get it. They understand. So it's like, to me, the NBA is very progressive. The NBA is the same league that allow their players to wear "I Can't Breathe" shirts before a game and didn't find players. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when they get back to the bubble and start playing games, the social justice impact and what they're going to be talking about is going to be part of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Sports Center, everybody's talking about it. So it makes no sense to sit. It makes more sense to play and give people escape, because that's what sports is doing. Give people escape, something else to talk about, and then at the same time balance it with talking about the issues. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I see it, because you can't wait. You wait, say it's gonna be 3-4 years. You waste time, and then by the time you try to play again, you can't.
Exactly.
Your career's done.
I think another part of his argument is that the focus and the relevancy of this is so relatively fresh and so like new, that if by giving people an escape and giving people something else to talk about, you'll distinguish and you'll extinguish the fire that is going on right now. Like a big, I think that's a valid point. Like this is
No,
probably
I understand that point.
at the highest peak that is going to be. Probably. I don't know if what's going to happen in the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, but this is a very hot thing. So giving people an escape will like extinguish the fire that is at right now.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think it'll just put pedal to the metal in different ways. I think you have to. I think some people are exhausted a little bit with stuff. I think with the pandemic, people got exhausted, and you see, that's why you see a lot of people going out. But I think this will give people a way to see something else, and then you can still get the message across in a different way. You know, because look, we all watch ESPN. We all watch these FS1. We see the shows, and everybody's still they talking about it in sports, not just because they don't have enough programming, but because it's the players are talking about it. Sports Center is taking time out to talk about this issue extensively. You know what I'm saying? So I think, yeah. So I think it's important. Even us right now. This is conversation number one. You know what I mean? We're going to have other conversations to talk about Black Lives Matter and some of the things. We think as Thru TheLenz and individually what we need to do, because I have a lot of feelings. 2 weeks ago I have as much feelings as I had right now. But I think you got to keep it moving, and not only got to keep it moving, you got to I think you have to integrate these thoughts into everyday your overall purpose of what you're trying to do. Our overall purpose is not to sit around and just protest. Our overall purpose is to provide something for this society. And that's what his job is to be a basketball player, but also use that influence to get across these other messages, like LeBron is doing.
And I'm gonna end off. I'm gonna say my last point. Also, Kyrie, regardless of how I feel about you on the court, you're one of the most well-respected basketball players, and thousands and thousands of young Black men look forward to watching you every single time you play. Regardless of whatever, hundreds, thousands of Black men look forward to watching you play. Does that help keeping some people off the street? I think so. I think it does.
And you make a point too, because if the NBA is going to go on and play these games, it keeps young men, young Black people, or just people in general, focus on the tube, seeing what's going on. They're not on the streets doing nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be a huge thing this summer, because there's no summer or a bunch of stuff. So I think it's, you know,
Exactly.
important. And one more thing I'll say before I give to Steve is, like, I expect Space Jam 2, when it comes out next year, to have some type of messaging about everything that's going on. I totally expect LeBron James is going to sneak the message in this kid's movie in some way about something. You know what I mean? Like, because, and that's one of the ways that he's like that you can do. You can still be a positive influence using other different, you know, platforms. So, yeah.
I'll end it off with this. I'll piggyback off of Talik. A lot of black men look at these athletes as a sense of hope. So them playing can also instill a level of hope in them and us, people like us who thought we wanted to go to, who had aspirations of going to the NBA. Maybe one day I won't have to be oppressed. I won't have to be going through this, and I can be on this stage playing and living my dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I think,
Exactly.
and you know what? I think, you know, we had this conversation with somebody through our church, me and Steve, me and Talik's church. His name is Richard Smith, and he brought this point up about Kareem AbdulJabbar, how he was playing basketball, but he was still an activist. You know, he changed his name from Louis Ascender to Kareem AbdulJabbar because of religious reasons, but also because of his activism. You know what I mean? And I think with Michael Jordan, we never saw activism because, you know, his whole thing was, well, Republicans wear sneakers too. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to get into the political thing. And that was his thing. You know what I mean? No disrespect. That was his thing. He brought him to another level. But I think with LeBron James, he's beginning to figure out how to balance both things, where it's like,
Exactly.
you know, it's not just shut up and dribble. It's like, okay, I can do more than just dribble a basketball. And I think for the next generation, they need to see that. So how you balance being the basketball star and being the activist and still be able to get the endorsement deals and still be able to be like not a menace to society. And I think, you know, LeBron is being a great ambassador of that. And I understand where Kyrie is coming from, but, you know, you have to be able to balance those things and still be a dominant force in this world in terms of your profession. So.
LeBron said this too. He said, hopefully I'm not remembered for how great I was on the basketball court, but how great I am off the basketball court. He said that.
Exactly. Best
All right,
player ever.
Well, I think we settled that in, you know, the last dance already. So, you know what I mean, we settled that. But anyway, this is Through the Lens. This is, you know, a topic. You know, this is not just a one-time topic we want to talk about. We got a lot more we want to dig deeper into, but we just wanted to get this off our chest because it was hot on the presses. And we'll see y'all soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Separating all the mice from the men, breaking it down from beginning to the end. Got their finger on the pulse of every trend. They see inside league when they looking through the lens.